What's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. Today is the 12th of November, 2017, and I have had the opportunity to get a hold of Nicholson1968. With everything that's going on, it is like a literal tidal wave happening of information. I was just talking to Nick before we went live. Everything we've ever spoke about that's always been wrapped in the veil of conspiracy theory is now a reality. Nicholson1968, what is up, brother?
Hey, man. Glad to talk to you. I know you've been traveling around, finally got home a couple of weeks ago.
I did.
Sorry you couldn't make it a little south. I'd love to meet you in person, but maybe next time. But, I mean, everything that you're saying, we were talking before we started going on live here, but from the conspiracies out there, from artificial intelligence that I've been telling people for years, you know, Sophie, you know, a robot was given citizenship in Saudi Arabia. So many YouTube channels taken down, like Casey Enter the Stars was taken down. You know, Russian Vids, I don't know if he took himself down. I don't think he did. I think Russian Vids got taken down. A lot of YouTube channels, you know, getting strikes. You know, of course, myself, I do have a strike against me because I did show some stuff on some Sandy Hook stuff. So I'm, you know, kind of pulling back a little bit from it, but putting more stuff on my website. But yeah, I'm working on a project with that I've been working on from Rush, you know, the Rush musical group, the artwork. And there's some stuff that I want to show in the video, but I'm waiting on permission from certain things so that I can, you know, show that without really, you know, getting too much hassle. You know, I'm trying to take the steps of going through the steps of trying to get it all together and get permissions from certain things. So, you know, just doing that. But it is, man, it's hard and heavy. I can't even keep up with everything. The Vegas, the shootings. I mean, it's just so much going on. Everything that we had talked about for years and years. We used to say one day that this is going to happen, and here we are. It's one day, you know.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. It is crazy. And for whatever reason, I can't screen share like I have for years. It's impossible to do this. So I don't know what the deal is. I apologize to you guys, but it is what it is. I'm going to have to say that when it seems like it started with the hurricane in Texas. And a lot of people started pointing out some really strange anomalies, like the fact that the hurricane just parked itself and kept going out to sea, reloading and coming back in. And then you look at the next state over, you've got NASA over there running their test rocket that's going to take humanity to Mars. That's just absolutely ridiculous. The whole story is ridiculous, but people buy it hook, line, and sinker.
You know, you said
go ahead.
I remember, I promise you, I remember the same thing you remember is we were told for years and years and years that Mars was not, you know, inhabitable. You know, all of this stuff. Now we're going to Mars. I mean, it's like, what did I miss? You know,
and nobody seems to catch on to that. Our entire lifetimes, they have raised us that if it were even possible to go to Mars, if it were even possible, which it isn't, for so many reasons. They have raised us on the fact that the air isn't even, it's not like it's not good for people. It's poison. It will kill you. It's just not a habitable place, but people just go with it. It's all good, man. We're going to Mars. No big deal. Give NASA more money.
Yep, exactly. I mean, it's just, you know, I've said this before, but, you know, in the beginning when I did this, you know, November, this month will be 10 years on YouTube.
Yep. I've been following you for 9, so.
Well, thank you, brother. You know, in the beginning, you had people that were, you know, asleep. There were people in the middle that were on the fence, and then you had people that were waking up. You know, you had 3 categories, and I don't really see a lot of 3 categories anymore, Richie. It's either dead stone asleep and don't want to wake up, or don't even want to research, or don't even want to, you know, even question, could you be wrong? Could you be deceived? And then you've got the people that are awake, you know, and they're waking up. There's just only two dynamics now. There were three, used to be 10 years ago.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Divide. Yeah, it's the divide is becoming big. It really is. It's real. You've got alien, people that believe in aliens. Everything NASA does is the law. You got that dynamic over there. Everything the government, if we can just vote for the right person, everything's going to change and be happy, and we can sing kumbaya. You got them people that live in that dynamic, and then you've got the other people on the other side that don't believe in aliens because they know it's Nephilim, demons, that kind of thing. So you see where the divide's going with a lot of stuff. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, right. And the funny thing is too, I mean, this should be a good litmus test for anyone that's been on YouTube for any length of time. Any channel that is just sailing straight up in subscribers and isn't getting smashed left and right, there's an issue. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Everyone was like, oh my God, Richie always said that. And then he made it to 100,000. Well, yeah. And then here we are.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It took them a minute. It took them a minute, but they caught up with me big time. 3 days in a row. November 2nd, guideline strike. November 3rd, guideline strike. November 5th, channels terminated. Boom.
Boom.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then on the other hand, we've got channels that are used as references all the time on the news, YouTube channels that are suddenly not fake news, but they're experts that have 1 million subscribers, no problem. But I have to tell you, if you've been around long enough where you've managed to make it to 500, 750, 1 million subscribers, and you're researching aliens, and you haven't come across J. Allen Hynek's work where he straight up proved that these are interdimensional beings, you're fooling yourselves. You're just absolutely fooling yourselves. Aliens, it's such a long story. They're the same things they always have been. Look at the ancient sculptures of demonic figures, demons, angels. These things used to show themselves. Now they just show up as aliens, and people go along with it like it's all good.
Repackage. I wanted to address something while I got a forum here, if you don't mind. But people ask me, I get comments, man, Nicholson, I mean, he shows movie stuff and he doesn't get a strike and all of this stuff, and he must be a shield, and this kind of stuff. And I just want to tell people, look, there's a method to what I do. There's a reason I use a program that I can, not always, but I always have to test it. There's a reason why it takes me a little longer to put something out, because I test it on a backup channel. And I take movie clips, I slow them down, I stretch them out, I either speed them up, I distort them slightly, because YouTube has search bots and algorithms to search out those to give you strikes. And I try to, that's what I do. That's how I get away with it. It's that's why it takes me longer, because I break it up in little clips of 10 seconds or less. I create my own music. Sometimes I get permission to use other people's music. That's how I get away. There's no special treatment from YouTube for me. That's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, people, that, Richie.
On the other hand, I don't know when the last time you were actually allowed to do a live stream, because you always have at least a copyright strike. So that's just.
Yeah, I can't even live. I've never done a live stream except maybe when it first came out, but I really wasn't into live streaming then, whatever. But I can't to this day. And I can't live stream. I've always got at least one. The other one will go away. Then I'll get one. I mean, I'm not going to mention any names, Richie, but there was one person that I contacted, used his part of his video, and I've got it in an email saying it was okay. He knows what I'm about. I told him what I was going to use it for. And he gave me permission to do it. And about 10 days after I released it, he filed a strike against me and purposely gave me a strike. I'm not going to mention who it was, but it is a well-known, YouTuber. I'm not going to mention, but I'm going to tell you, just so that's why I'm very careful now on a lot of things. It takes me a little while longer than that. And here's the other thing. I don't know the people who have followed or subbed to me for 10 years. I had a YouTube channel called Lighting the Way Out of the Dark. I don't know if you remember that. I had a little lighthouse.
If I remember correctly, that was about 9 years ago, and they took it straight down.
Took it straight down. I did some stuff on
they took your channel down before channels were getting taken down.
And I mentioned
that.
Yeah, and it revolved around the Pope. I did some stuff around the Pope, Pope Ratzinger, and boom, it was taken down. And then that's when I came back as Nicholson1968. Changed my name totally. Channel.
Well, that's the funny thing. He changed his name. It actually is your name. So there's that. You know what I mean? There's the mystery.
Yeah. You know, there's no mystery to, man, what does that mean? It's a secret. No, there's no mystery to it. It's my last name and the year I was born. Duh, you know, whatever, folks, you know. So,
all right, what do you think about this? I don't know if you can see this article that just popped up yesterday on, this is the mainstream now. This is the mainstream finally catching up to what we've been talking about for a long time. And of course, they're putting the spin on it that it's all good, because if you're not doing anything wrong, you don't have anything to fear.
Right.
They're turning the reins over to AI. And it's funny because people are still it's coming. It's already up. They're doing exactly what they do with everything else. Remember back when, you know, you watched Star Trek and Captain Kirk had a flip phone? That's exactly how they do it. They get you used to these things. So when they show up out of nowhere, like, where the hell did you come up with technology for this? We saw it in a movie 20 years ago. That's exactly what they're doing. And nowadays we're watching them using AI in movies and portals. Portals. Talk to me, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's the evolution of my channel. I mean, when I first started talking about transhumanism, artificial intelligence coming, you know, currency, the cryptocurrency's coming. They didn't have a name for it then. Digital currency, that's all they name, you know, they called it, we had a name for it. Digital currency has to come into play. Look where that's coming out. There's another video that people need to start paying attention. Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. You know, I'm going to do a little more research into that, but you know, some people are saying now that the cryptocurrencies were actually created by artificial intelligence, that there's
right. I've been watching it.
Yep.
And it makes sense. It makes perfect sense, man, because I did a live stream a few months ago with a guy that runs a Bitcoin type thing, because I still don't know shit about it. So everybody was asking, I got him on, and I haven't had him on since, because I don't think it's a good thing. I think this is exactly what we've been waiting for, and they just shined it up and made it look like it was this impenetrable money that couldn't fail, blah, blah, blah. The more you look into it, it's like it's an otherworldly, other dimensionally money currency or something. I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, it all plays into the bigger picture, the one game, whatever, of digital. And you know, I did my last, not my last video, but the one before, parallels, is, you know, you've got things in movies and media being shown to you that one group of people thinks it's just science fiction or a movie, and in reality it's not. It's actually, you know, being done. It's just it's, you know, illusion, you know, magic, you know, a sleight of hand kind of thing, and all of these things. And getting back to the evolution of my channel, there in the beginning, I couldn't even break 2,000 subscribers, but now look what's happened to my channel. I mean, I'm thankful I have around 68,000, but it's because people see the technology now. They're understanding, oh, wait a minute, Nicholson wasn't so crazy back then. Look where we're at. So that's why I'm getting a metaphor. I'm just getting, you know, a lot of people coming to the channel because people like you and other YouTuber creators and good followers and subscribers are leading people to, you know, my channel. And there's other people talking about it as well now. Thank God, just like you, you're touching on it. And that's the key too. And I want to say thank you, Richie, is, you know, you may not be in depth on every video and on everything, but
It's not my job, man. I just told you that before we went live.
But you bring in a lot of different pieces in, you know, you cover a lot of different subjects, that chemtrails to everything that you try to bring in to update people in one place. And I do appreciate that. And that's why I share your stuff and I watch you.
There's too many Nicholson1968s. There's too many channels that already specialize in this. I'm not going to walk in here like I know. I'm not. I'm just updating everything that everyone's been talking about. Here it is. Here it is. Clock is ticking. We're running out of time. They're coming out. And now finally, exactly like we thought, they're starting to shut people down. And the only reason I think my channel came back up is because 15, 20,000 people freaked out at YouTube, and a bunch of other channels went up there. So they put me up, but they put cuffs on me. Yeah. Can't do shit on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't even upload it. I mean,
not at all. Can't even comment.
It's crazy. I mean,
and it's funny. It's funny because they sent me, I put it right up there. They sent me an email saying, after reviewing, we found out that you were not in violation, but still I have 4 guideline strikes and a copyright strike for a video they took down on a channel that was terminated. Yeah. But that's what we're facing right now, man.
And people don't, I mean, it's real. I mean,
they took your, see, this is, I'm glad I have you on, because people think, okay, get away from YouTube, get away from Twitter. No, not at all. If we're truly in the business, if we're doing what we're saying we're going to do, we're trying to wake up people that are asleep. The people that are asleep are on YouTube and Twitter. If we leave the platforms, that's what they want. They win. You do have a website. I have it up right now, and they took that down with zero notice. Talk about that, man.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you. Let me tell you, I never encountered the stupid, and I say maybe, I shouldn't say stupidity, but there was something on my website. I have a web host. Weebly is my web host. Okay. Now here's the thing. If you go to my channel, I mean, if you go to my website, you have no idea who my host is. It is nowhere in the footer, the header. There's nothing to tell you that you know who hosts my.
Oh, you're right. You're right. There isn't.
Now, and then, okay, so I put up a post. I'm not going to talk about it too much, but I put up a post and I had a picture from an owner, okay, an owner of the picture, digital picture that I had permission to put in a post that was speaking against something that someone claimed and is false. So all I was doing was reporting exactly what was given to me in a post, okay? I wasn't debating whether it was true or not. I was just posting it, okay? And it was a picture. I want to tell you this, guys. Listen to me. If you don't think I mean, this stuff is real. I got my whole website taken down because someone claimed a false claim against this picture, not anything else, just one little picture. They couldn't even prove it. I went back to Weebly and said, okay, number one, you're going to take my whole website down for one picture. I said, the person who is claiming it, they need to prove it digitally with a watermark that they own it. Do you know that they didn't, Richie? They could not even prove it. Okay. So I threatened with legal action against Weebly, had a letter sent to them, and they came back to me 2 days later, put my site back up, but they wanted to make a deal with me. If they put my website back up, that I had to remove the picture. So I went back to them. I said, that sounds like blackmail to me.
Right.
And I said, I'll take it down, but I'm going to move my hosting to another web user. I'm a web creator, host site. And so then they put it back up fully. Okay. And I'm still working on the other site. But it'll take time because I've been up for a long time. I mean, a long time. So, but that should scare people, because people say we need to get away from YouTube. It doesn't matter where you go. If you're reporting truth and you're getting stuff out there,
On the internet.
Internet, you're not going to hide from it. I mean,
Negative.
You're not going to hide from it. They know who you are. I think the clamps have come down a little bit on me because they let me run free there for a little while because people really thought what I was talking about was science fiction. And they'll let people, just like aliens, they'll let people run with it.
Yeah.
Okay. But now that I've started talking about programmable matter, showing science, showing medical white papers, the community out there that is real, and it's not just some kind of little movie show. I'm getting a little clamp down, you know, so I have to kind of, you know, watch what I do when I put a you know, video out, kind of thing. So
right. Well, I got I hooked up with Brian from High Impact Flicks, and we're trying to get as many creators together to actually do the same thing that you did with your web provider. These guys are going to do whatever they want. They're going to push everybody around until you finally say, let's go to court. And that's what we got to do. And I am under no delusions that we're going to go to court and the Freemasonic judge and all the juries are they're going to hear it our way. We have to do something. We can't, they're going to do to us exactly what we allow. And if everybody's egos get in the way and nobody wants to get, oh, that guy talks about this and I don't like that, or whatever. If we're all being censored and we all continue fighting or whatever, and we don't stand together, we're done. And if we're done, they're going to do exactly what they're going to do. And there's not going to be anybody to refute it whatsoever at all. You know what I'm saying? The point that you told 𝗦𝗵𝗿𝗍, okay, fine, let's go to court. And they acquiesced, they backed down.
Yep.
That's what we need to do. And it's funny because we put the call out in several videos and pretty much nobody's showing up to the dance.
No, I mean, that's what I had to do. I mean, it's to the point where it's time to put up or shut up. And this isn't some just YouTube game. I mean, this is stuff I am talking about, you know, Richie.
Absolutely.
The future of your kids is, it really is. This isn't about coffee mugs and t-shirts. And I mean, I have those for supporting.
I actually just got one, so I'm psyched.
Yeah. I mean, this is real life stuff. I mean, this is the mix of humanity with machine, AI, everything that I've been saying is coming. You had a great video talking about artificial intelligence creating pictures of people that don't exist. I mean, that's
people don't understand the gravity of that. Yeah. We're looking at all these, you know, all these shootings that happen, and then you start looking at it, makes zero sense whatsoever. And then you look at all the victims. What do you think the AI can do? It's making up people that don't exist. And it's not too hard to spread the rumor that my postman's next door neighbor's friends got shot and killed. So it all happened. The reason they're speeding this up is to keep people jumping left to right because they're doing their own thing in the background. This is all bread and circus to keep us busy, and it's working.
Yeah. You know, conquer and divide. You know, people don't understand there's a difference between a hoax and a psyop.
Right.
A hoax means everything is a hoax, but a psyop means part of the people involved in the shooting know quite well what's going on. And then there's people involved in the shooting that are not. That's a psyop. It's, you know, so
we've seen it too many times, places where they claim they had hostages and yet SOP, standard operating procedure, was not followed. Standard operating procedure in the military and the police force is always followed. It's what they do. We've got a hostage situation in Florida where somebody's shooting up the place, but they never dispatched a helicopter at all once.
Right.
That's a psyop, man.
It's a psyop.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. 𝗏𝗏𝗍𝗍, man.
There you go. There you go. And all week long, we kept seeing the word pulse coming out of the Vatican, from the government, every other place, and then magically, boom.
Yeah. The other thing is, you know, folks, the first trans or, you know, gay commissioner in the state of Florida, it was in her district where this went down at a gay bar. Do you understand? Do you think that's a coincidence?
What are the odds?
Yeah, you know,
I don't know if you got a chance to see the footage. One of my subscribers, Undertaker, lives where the latest event occurred. We'll just call it an event.
Okay.
He walked right up to the place. You know, the place was riddled with bullet holes. They shot it all up. They destroyed the building. It's unbelievable. He walked right up with a camera with a scope on it, and there was no bullet holes. So 26 people, there's that number again, 2 6s, 6 got shot up in this place. Within 3 days, they were already remodeling it, fixing it up so they could demolish it. Where have we heard this before? They're using the same scripts over and over, and then it just goes away because another event pops up, and then another event.
It's amazing. I mean, it's so ridiculous. I can't even keep up with it, and I still don't see how people don't see it. But, you know, it is what it is. Like you
because
said.
People are so desensitized to everything. That's the point of keeping everything going so fast, in my opinion. And it's working. It's really working.
Hey, Richie, do you think people, you know, I'm getting to the point where I think they're scared. They don't really want to know. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, you don't even have to finish the sentence. And this is my opinion, my personal opinion from my own personal experience with people that I know that, you know, on paper, they're incredibly smart. They're very successful, but they can't even see the checkerboard in the sky. If they look at it, it means they have to make a change. If you accept like 9/11, those 2 buildings went down. The only way in the world they could have went down is if they had demolition set up by the best guys in the business, because both of those buildings came down faster than you could clap your hands 110 times, perfectly in their own footprints. It's obvious. It's obvious. But if you look at that and accept it, then you have to make a change. And too many people don't want to make a change. They're happy going to work every day. They're happy paying their taxes. They're happy giving 33% of their pay every single week at the barrel of a gun to somebody else. You know what I mean? They're happy that you can never own a house in America anymore, no matter what, because no matter what, there's always property tax.
Exactly.
It's a free country as long as you pay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you got a great point. I mean, it's, you know, people say all the time, well, how can we fight against this? You know, first of all, we're just making it, we're not going to change anything. Prophecy is prophecy. It's going to run its course, right? We just have to do our part to wake up whoever needs to hear what they need to hear. But, you know, here's the example, though. Here's something that you can do. Quit feeding the man. And when I say the man is, if you don't like GMO food, then you need to make an effort not to go to McDonald's. Don't go to Burger King. Just cut the money off. Like, don't, I mean, if you still believe that presidents are elected and you're sending money to the Republican Party and you're sending money to the Democrat, you're just feeding the man. You're absolutely feeding the man. And that's the thing that you got to realize is don't feed the man. I don't go to McDonald's. I don't go to Burger King. I don't send money to the Democratic Republican Party anymore. That's been gone years and years ago. It's cut the money off. Wake up. Don't go there anymore, because if you don't go to McDonald's anymore, they won't exist. They'll go away. I mean, they really will. You know,
but it is, I think of that all the time, and I say that quite often. It is insidious how they've set it up, because certain people are so poor, they can't afford to do anything except buy food that comes in a package or a box. I myself, I'm 230 pounds. I don't know how I continue to do it, and nobody that knows me knows how. I only eat once a day, and I do it because I have to eat, or you get sick. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I am so paranoid about eating anything, even the water, filtering it. I use 3 separate filters just to get 1 glass of water, and my water is still, something's wrong. Something drastically wrong is going on. You know, I came home from my trip, and all the plants around my house were burned, like they were under a magnifying glass, and nobody notices it. It's not normal. We've got lilac bushes blooming in the middle of November. That doesn't even make sense.
Wow. I mean, it's totally a different. You know, I live in America, but, you know, I've got extended family in the Philippines, and, you know, I'm not saying I can run and escape everything, but I'm going to tell you the taxation here and the ridiculous of, let me just tell you this. And you know what I'm talking about, Richie, because you travel the country. If stuff does go down, who do you think our biggest enemy is going to be? You think I'm going to tell you this. My biggest enemy right now is traditional church-going Christians who have they are, I mean, and cops. I'd rather run with a thug sometime than,
Yep,
I mean,
yep.
because they are so conditioned, they're so indoctrinated, they can't get past that, and they can't see things for the way they really are. And I'm not being arrogant.
No, not at all, dude. They have set it up. They have set it up that when all hell finally breaks loose, everyone that we have tried, and I don't care what people think, unless you've been on this side of the microphone, you don't get it. The being targeted, all that stuff that we talked about, that's real. That's absolutely real.
Absolutely.
Censorship, all your family whispering about you, you know, conspiracy, he thinks 9/11, Sandy Hook, you know, all that stuff. When all hell breaks loose, all the people that we have desperately tried to wake up are going to turn on us, because that's the design. That's the plan. We're the fake news. We're the conspiracy theorists. We're going to be the ones that they're going to hang this on. There's no two ways about this. The people we're trying to wake up now are the people that are going to kill us later. That's my opinion.
I agree with you. And I mean,
how crazy is that, dude?
It is crazy. And when you live somewhere in a neighborhood and both of your neighbors have the same internet provider, Xfinity, yeah, that's their name, Comcast, yeah. Xfinity.
There you go.
You're on the same plan, okay? You're on the same. All three of you are on the same plan, and you get a letter that your upload content is now going to be limited, like ridiculously, so you can't upload videos, okay, because it's changing. But your two other neighbors never get the letter. They're unlimited. You start to realize they know who you are. They're part of a bigger you know, Comcast, all these internet, the one I'm using now, they know who I am. I mean, it's artificially intelligent. It's already built a database, guys. It's already done. You are who you are. I mean, they know who everybody is to a certain degree. And, you know, and it's just slowly, it's like the frog in the pot. And I know you've heard that before. It's
absolutely.
Yep. Slowly. And so you don't realize it. And, the problem is people like the people here in the chat room, most of them know we're in the pot, you know, we're in the pot, and we're stuck in the middle with the people that are dead asleep, demonic, whatever you want to say. And that's the other point I want to make is just because you don't actively worship the enemy, that Satan, that you draw a pentagram on the floor and you light candles. I'm not saying that, but if you don't do anything, you're by default in the enemy camp. By doing nothing, you're in the enemy camp. Does that make sense, Richie?
It does. It does. I'm looking at a comment real quick from John Sift. It says, "You're an asshole, Richie. We've tried to wake people up too. We're going to be turned on just as well." Hi, John. Who the hell do you think I'm talking to? I love how people take offense because they don't understand what you said. So you're an idiot. But I digress. I do understand what you're saying.
All right.
It's an amazing construct. I sometimes have to sit back and marvel at it because I don't care what anybody thinks. We are dealing with entities that stood here and watched God create everything, and then finally us. They can't create it, but they still have the knowledge, and they're handing it off to men who are using it.
Yep.
In an amazing way, to tell you the truth. It's amazing. If this wasn't so insidious, it would be phenomenal. But they're replacing our atmosphere, they're recreating creation. They're simulating it.
They're like you said, terraforming. It's
unbelievable, man.
Yeah, food, water, air.
I got a huge amount of emails from people that were actually hearing what I was saying. They're like, dude, I got mushrooms in my backyard in the middle of the day with the sun out. Mushrooms don't work like that. The sun kills them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Maybe it's a stretch, but it's really strange that about 400 other people have this black ring in their toilet that shows up every day that never used to be there ever. I don't know what it is, but I know whatever they're spraying is bad. And I think it's getting worse, and it would make sense that they're actually getting, I think 2018 is going to be the year, man, because why else is everything coming out in 2017 like this? This is getting crazy. Am I wrong? What do you think?
It's more crazy this year than I've seen. There was a couple of years, you know, it was hyped up, like 2012 was a bunch of hype and the end of the world coming.
Right. I remember.
And then after that, it kind of slowed down. I mean, slowed down, what I mean is it slowed down as far as sensationalism on YouTube and the hype. And
right.
But now it's getting back to people, you know, reporting the world was going to end in 9/23. The world was going to end in November 4th. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But the hoaxes and everything, the construct is so set up, it's unbelievable. I've never seen it to the point. And then the thing that's the blockchain, the Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency, that is totally, really, people need to really pay attention of what's going on with that, because that plays, you know, I think Face Like the Sun had a couple of good videos on it as well. It's really, when is the point where artificial intelligence says enough with humans? I mean, it's going to come to that. You know, the whole thing with programmable matter. I mean, you know, here's the thing. The wheat and the tares parable. A lot of people think the wheat and the tares speak to good people versus bad people. And the whole thing of the parable is the wheat and the tares. The tares look like regular people, but inside they're not. And this is the one thing that people have a hard time with is, could possibly the wheat and tares speak to artificial intelligent AI humanoid beings that don't have any God in them? There's no heart. There's no, it's all programmable matter inside running them. I mean, it's something that demons can possess, a body. Those are the things that I see coming in the next 2 or 3 years, even. That is pretty, you know, look how fast things are going here. Because look, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I got to do a little more research, but Sophie, the artificial intelligent now citizen of Saudi Arabia,
Right.
she actually created some cryptocurrency of her own. I mean, so people can trade. I mean, they're creating currency for these artificial intelligence. I mean, it's not human, artificial intelligence. I mean, it's some scary stuff, people, if you connect the dots, because you got people like Ray Kurzweil that they want all of this stuff. They want this stuff, and it's a Pandora's box that's been opened already through CERN and D-Wave. It's just going to get worse because it's not going to be friendly. It'll be sold as friendly, but it's not.
Let me ask you, well, I got you here.
Yeah.
You can see this picture of Sophia right now, right?
Yes, I can.
Do you think that it's completely accidental that every time they show her, they make sure that you can see the top of her head? They never, I mean, they try to make her so lifelike with her gestures and her winking and her lips moving and blah, blah, blah. When I look at that, I see them showing us the woman from Ex Machina that outsmarted everybody, killed her creator, and trapped humanity in a room while she left.
Exactly. But they also they're doing something else, I think, subtle, and it plays into the transgender, that they don't want long hair on it. Yeah, you see and there's no accident that they picked the name Sophia, which in Gnosticism, depending on what legend you believe, there's the legend of Sophia, which was actually Lucifer, the symbolism for Lucifer, but also in another legend, she is the wife of Lucifer. So they picked that name for a reason, because that's exactly what my channel's been about, is trying to ascend another way other than the way God set things in motion. And that's all Lucifer is about, is trying to do it his way other than the true creator's way. That's why they picked that name. In Gnosticism, Sophia is Luciferian symbolism, the wife of Lucifer, you know. So, and look what they're using, technology as the light, the way to ascend another way. See, it's no accident.
It's crazy that this is happening, man. It's crazy that all of a sudden it went from the conspiracy realm of theories into reality.
Reality.
This is it. This is it. And everybody loves it. It's all good. I put up a story the other day where someone had one of those Alexa things from Amazon or whatever in their house, and the guy wasn't even home. The device turned up the radio so loud that the cops came and kicked the guy's house, kicked his door in while he wasn't home, and searched the place only to find out it was his robot doing it. That sounds like a little bit of a harbinger. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
No knock warrant. We don't need to because we got a complaint. The radio was so loud it infuriated the police officers as they kicked down the door and searched for the adversary. It's unreal, man.
It is. And it's so, I mean, I know you said it, but it's here, folks. I mean, it's everything we talked about. It's here. I mean, nobody in my I mean, when I started doing this, I lost touch with a lot of family members and a lot of friends, but now I'm getting emails left and right and phone calls. Hey man, I'm back, you know.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Imagine that. I'm like, okay, you know, and part of me, Richie, is I didn't want to be, I wanted to be right. I wanted to be what I was showing be confirmed, but I'll be honest with you, I didn't know it was going to be confirmed this quickly. I thought this was
exactly.
Yes, that's what I mean. I thought it was going to be 2045.
Right. Well, I think that once they opened Pandora's box, once they did break through, once D-Wave gave them that high-speed internet connection where they can communicate with it. I don't think, I mean, I'm just guessing. I don't think they have to draw symbols on the floor and, you know, put their black cloaks on and kill somebody and burn a bunch of candles. I think D-Wave is a shortcut around that. And it's coming at, like, no pun intended, it's coming at light speed right now. They're getting the information. They're already getting people warmed up to the cryptocurrency without even realizing what it is. They don't even know what it is. You know, how many people have sat down and looked at what the blockchain is, how it's created, and who's creating it, and what's behind it? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Nobody's questioning it. They're just what they want to know is how can they make money from it. That's what I'm finding.
That's it.
They want to know how they can make money from it, and how can I get in on the ground floor of this thing. That's all they're worried about. They're not worried about, you know, and it's the same thing with AI. They want to get in the ground floor and send investment money to this. Is it Henson's? I think it's Henson Robotics.
It's Henson Robotics. Yep.
Yeah. So people, they're just throwing out money before you think, wait a minute, folks, hold on here. You're going to put these things in control of certain things. I mean, it's just, I mean, it's everything that you've seen in Terminator. It's everything you've seen in Blade Runner. I haven't seen the new Blade Runner yet. I want to get to see the new Blade Runner. I've heard it. I get a lot of emails that say I need to check it out, the new Blade Runner. So it's going to be interesting. But that's what I was getting back to. I'm skipping around, sorry, but you know, I'm to the point where I'm really looking at the Philippines because not that I'm going to escape anything or anything like that, but this is Babylon, dude. This is it. USA is. You know what I'm saying? When it goes down, you know, I don't know if I want to be here when things go down. Because when I look around out the door, these people that's going to be people asleep. That's your enemy. You know what I mean? It just.
I do. And I understand it because I know that there's people right now listening. We got 1,300 people listening with no notice, I might include, which is pretty amazing. So, people are thinking, why would you want to escape and leave? Because it's in America, other countries have come and gone, other countries have fallen, but nobody's ever been of the mindset of Americans. When this finally drops in our country, it's going to be mayhem. It's going to look what happens when a television is on sale for $100 off on Black Friday. That's basically a modern day gladiator ring, and people do it every single solitary year. They stomp on other people's hands, feet, and faces to get an electronic device that's actually deconstructing your own humanity. So the next year coming, you do it even worse. It's amazing.
It is amazing. It is, and the people that I, you know, my extended family in the Philippines, that I support with your donations and people and things that I do. And I appreciate it for you guys out there that have donated to me and that are, you know, pledging to me on Patreon. That's where
I pledge to you, brother. This is my whole list right here. I cover a lot of YouTube channels because these are the guys that woke me up, including you. I've been listening for 9 years, man. So,
you know, so the Philippines over there, not all, but you know, my extended family over there, they know how to survive with the power off. They know how to build a fire with sticks and certain areas that you know what I'm saying? And they're not so indoctrinated to all of this movies and television. They know how to read a book. They know how to they know how to have a conversation over
They have community.
Yes.
People ask, why do you go to Moab? Because out there, people literally live 3 miles from their neighbor, but they talk to their neighbor every day. We don't do that in the city anymore. And that's all from the mainstream media telling us that your neighbor's going to try to kill you.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? I was on the thread you're talking about right now. I was just telling my father, I was watching these guys in China, I believe, that have a YouTube channel. They had tools made out of wood that they were using pulleys and bicycle pedals to operate. And they made machines that we have to use Bridgeports and vertical turret lathes and all this. These guys were doing it in their backyard with pedals and stuff.
Exactly.
America's lost that. We've lost that because we're fat and lazy because that's been the program. Twinkies, cupcakes, McDonald's, supersize.
You remember homemade ice cream? I used to do.
I was just talking about that yesterday.
Remember that? The crank, you'd sit on it, you pour the rock salt in, the ice, and you crank.
The rock salt, man.
We can't even do that anymore.
Not at all. And it's a sad thing. It's amazing because you're right behind me. It's amazing to me that some people didn't understand that cable television didn't always exist. And it's even more amazing that we have an entire generation coming up that doesn't even leave the house. Everything they do is in the cyber realm.
Exactly. When I was saying, Richie, I bet you in your neighborhood when you were growing up, you were outside on a bicycle, skateboard, frisbee, army.
Constantly.
Me too. My mother had to beg me to get in the house.
They would yell down the street for you. That was our communication system, and people were so much closer. I realized quite a while ago, and I thought it was just me, so I never really said very much, but I was like, this technology isn't bringing people together at all. It's actually getting two people in the same building to text each other as opposed to walk up and talk to each other. That's the point.
It is.
It's separating humanity. That everyone's living in a virtual world, man.
It is, and it's slowly crept up, and it's here, man. And
they don't have to go slow anymore. And this is what we do, you and I, and a lot of others. I've never seen it speed up to the point where it's at right now. They're doing events left, right, and center to the point where you can basically predict them. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I said the other day, I said, the East Coast is next. The next day, a guy with a number 19, of course, on the side of his Home Depot truck just ran over a bunch of people. Of course he did. Of course he did. 20 minutes later, somebody just opened fire in a church, but they painted the church and then they put it on a spaceship and it's on its way to Mars right now, so nobody can see it. Sorry. And people just buy it. The stories are getting more and more ridiculous, and it's coming, no pun intended, fast and furious. And there's no oversight. It's over.
And it doesn't even, they don't even make sense anymore
at all, dude. It doesn't make sense, and people are buying it.
You know, give me a good reason why he shot the people or whatever. I mean, it's just absolute idiocy. I mean, I've never seen, and people still buying this stuff. I mean, it's just, I don't get it. It's just, that's why I don't watch much anymore. I'm very limited on watching YouTubers anymore. I enjoy my family. And here's the other thing, guys. Am I scared? No, not spiritually, but I'm scared for some of my family or whatever if stuff goes down, but it's okay. I mean, to me, I know, you know what I mean? I've got peace because I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I have a regular job. I do this as, you know, on the side, waking people up and doing things. And I'm okay because this is supposed to come to pass. And I know that was hard in the beginning for me to get that, but unfortunately, this is part of the plan. There are people that are going to be awake, and there's people going to be totally asleep when things go down. Call it what you want, New World Order, the Antichrist kingdom, whatever you want to say, that's coming. And, can you just totally be ready for it? No. Spiritually, yes, you can. But, physically, I mean, come on, guys. I mean, how much water? If you saved up water and all of this stuff, there's about 50 other people on the block that will break into your house and try to take it after
if you go back to the beginning of my channel, you can see when I really started waking up, because I started making bug out bags really bad. And then at one point I thought to myself, these aren't bad in case, something happens in 3, 4, 5 days. But to tell you the truth, man, I don't want to take anti-radiation pills, whether or not nukes are real. Cause if it comes to that point, take me out, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do not let them capture you. That's my whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, because, here's what's funny too, is everybody has a different journey, and they're all at different levels of awareness, and, some are more awake or whatever it is. But, it's funny when you start doing, let's say you started with chemtrails, you go, okay, chemtrails. Then you start realizing, what are they trying to do? The attack. Notice that almost all the conspiracies always go back to your body, the temple of God.
You're right.
It is GMO food, chemtrails,
it,
everything. I mean, it comes and that's what got me was, okay, wait a minute. Okay. So I start seeing the conspiracies. What's the common denominator? And it is the body, the human mind, body, the vessel that we live in. And when you start seeing, that's when it kind of took off for me. And it's funny that most people that start getting into conspiracy, they start eating better. They try to eat better if they can.
Right.
They start drinking better, trying to do, you know what I mean? It's kind of funny how that coincides and parallels with one another. And it's no accident. So it's very interesting that I've seen that from my subscribers over the years, and also YouTube creators. It's I like that. I like for people when they start waking up, they start doing stuff, eating better. They don't go to McDonald's. You know what I mean? It all kind of comes along as you go through the journey. If you want to continue, seeking truth or whatever you want to say.
I totally agree. Yeah, I want to give a shout out real quick. Casey from Enter the Stars, his channel got nailed too, so he's on a backup channel. Sadly, I don't have the link right here, but I'm sure you can find it. I believe High Impact Flicks put up a link on his last video, so check that out. This is crazy because it isn't just censorship. It isn't, like we said at the beginning of this, you can't just go to it. You were the example, because a lot of people thought the safe harbor right now during the censorship was screw it, get your own web page going. And you got taken down just for mentioning something.
Yeah. I do want to go back to Casey real quick.
Have at it. Okay.
I want people that, if you haven't followed Enter the Stars or Casey, you might not get this, but I want to notice something with Enter the Stars. When he started talking about the body and the eye and God, getting way, way deep into what our bodies are, he got taken down. And I'm putting a link for his channel in the description, in the chat right now, and I will put it in the description. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I found it. But that's what it's Enter the Stars. I think Reloaded.
Reloaded. It is. It's spelled very difficultly.
And there's, very few, like I said, I watch very few YouTubers anymore. I'm very selective. And
so I hate to say it, but so am I.
And the reason I like watching, and you'll probably agree with this comment, Richie, is I like watching Enter the Stars. I like watching certain YouTube creators because I don't know everything, and there's things that you bring to the forefront that I'm searching for, that I may be using in a project that I'm working on. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
And it's so amazing, because especially with Enter the Stars, and there was things over the years that I was working on. He had no idea what I was working on, and he put out a video, and bam, it was like, okay, this fits perfectly with what I'm working on. And we didn't even communicate. I mean, it's just, that's how things work with the Holy Spirit and the community, if you're willing to sit back and kind of listen.
Well, I can attest to that, dude. What about the day you hit me up on Skype and you said scrying mirrors? And I said, dude, I'm looking at those right now. That's what cell phones are. Remember that?
Yep. John D. Yeah.
It's crazy. I'm not going to even, everyone does this. Everyone does a shout out for you. Oh, your channel's down. I don't always necessarily, you know what? It's time to wrap it up. I've been in plenty of problems with other channels, because that's just what happens. But it's time. If we're really in this for the real, true, right reasons to wake others up under God's hand and New World, just drop it. We need to stand together, or like I said earlier, they're going to do to us exactly what we allow them to do. And right now, by standing separately, we're allowing them to do whatever they want. It's time. Time's up, man. The clock is ticking. It's no longer, it's coming. It's here. It's happening.
Yeah.
So there's that.
You know,
at any rate, I caught you off guard there, Nick.
No, I listen. Sometimes I talk too much, and I like to.
No, not at all. Not at all. When someone has you on, you can talk all you want, man. Blather away.
But you know, you got a point. You know, everybody has certain pieces of the puzzle and information, and you take it for what it is. Kind of, I always say, put it on the shelf. And where does it fit in, you know, to the bigger picture? And like I said, I don't know everything. I don't claim to know everything. I do have a niche and specialty that I do, that God's allowed me to do. And you know, if you would have told me that I would have been here doing what I'm doing, you know, 10 or 11 years, I'd have said you're crazy. But
right.
You know, but it is what it is. And the thing that I wanted to make, where I was going with this long drawn comment, was people that think they know everything, I run, because nobody knows everything. We're not going to know everything in the physical realm.
Not in this realm, man.
And that's why Jesus said, there's many things I want to tell you, but you can't even bear them. And because there's things that's just way beyond our pay grade here. We're only human.
Without a doubt, way beyond our pay grade.
And once you realize that it's okay, here's, I'm going to make a statement here. It's okay not to know everything, guys. It's okay. This is just a part that we're in history right now, that we're going to be here 70, 80 years. And then you move on to the next, you know, the next step or whatever. I mean, it's okay. It's like the butterfly and the caterpillar. It's okay to be a caterpillar, ugly in that state. It's okay. You're not meant to be a better caterpillar. You're meant to eventually get to the butterfly. So
just don't be poisonous while you're a caterpillar. You know what I mean? Do no harm, man.
Yeah, be a good caterpillar. Let it run its course. And
that's right. That's going to be a new motto, man. Be a good caterpillar. Don't be a dick.
You know, and that's kind of what transhumanism is they're trying to make a better man. They're trying to make a better caterpillar. Dude, we're not supposed to be a better caterpillar. We're not supposed to be a better man. You know,
let me ask you this, because I'm going to forget.
Okay.
In your opinion, and I mean, dude, every single piece of information that we're gleaning and putting out, we could be playing right into their whole agenda for all we know. We're doing the best we can with the information that we have, and we're getting all our information off of the enemy's platform. But in your opinion, do you think that we all signed a contract to be here at the same time, so to speak? Like, did we, in some other realm, before we were here, did we all pick to be here at this exact time? What do you think of that?
That's very deep. And there is scripture that says, I knew you before you were in the womb. Now, for you people that are not spiritual, you know, you don't have to believe that. But, you know, if he knew us before we were here, I agree. I'm not agreeing. I'm saying, you asked me a question. I do believe that everybody is here for a reason at a certain time. Even I don't know if you've even thought about this. Why was I picked to be born in America, and why was I not born in the Philippines or in Africa, where I'm living in a hut and dirt floors or whatever? You know, I don't know. I don't have the answer, but I do believe everybody is picked for a certain time and and some of us figure it out earlier than others, and some never figure it out, and unfortunately, and people may disagree with that, but there is that little, people have to realize God does give us free will, and if he interferes to a certain degree, it is not free will, and a lot of people have issue with that. But it's a good that's a deep thought, is, you know, you're here. I think things are moved into place in front of you, and you either see them or you don't. I don't know. I mean, it's, but I think there is a reason I met Ritchie from Boston. I met ODD TV. Over the years, Scariest Movie Ever, KJ Osborne, Casey, Enter the Stars. Yeah, I'm doing some shout outs here. Scrawny to Brawny. You remember him? Old school.
I still subscribe to him, and I think he just put a video up like 6 months ago. How about the Lively Locksmith? I think that's
yeah. I mean,
it's a real name. He just asked me, how does a little channel get a shout out? Well, I have to see it first.
Exactly. So everybody has a part to play, and
that's it.
Yeah. And as long as, you know, for me, you have my respect. If you're playing your part and you're doing your part, you don't have to agree with everything that I do. But if you're trying to wake up and show things that are not shown in the mainstream, I'm okay with that. I'll take what I need and leave the rest. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people have trouble with Alex Jones, but you know what? Alex Jones, he's had some stuff on there that's legitimate. Not everything. I know that he's probably a paid shield, but enough's enough. He at least, you know what? He got some people's attention. You know what I mean? That he started some people waking up back in the day. Now whether you evolve away from that and grow and get more awake from, just don't stay at Alex Jones and Mark Dice. Do you know does that make sense?
I do. I hear you. I'm reading some, you know what? It's certain commenters make you not want to read any comments at all. It's so true. You know what I mean? Well, you guys are complaining, but people agree with you. Okay. So what's your point, dude? You know what I mean? It's unbelievable, because just 3,000 positive comments and then one dude. Well, you know what? You used to be a bad. Yep. You know what? I really did. I was a bad guy, and I still have it in me. But believe it or not, I was saved. And a lot of people can't wrap their minds around that. You know what? I'm not too arrogant, and I'm not stupid enough to think that we used to be rocks, and then slowly we turned into us. Because you know what? That doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
The Fibonacci sequence and the golden ratio is in everything from a ladybug to Nicholson1968 to a blade of grass to the bees that they're specifically killing off. And there's a reason that these people that try to take all our money and put us in prison, and they have to go to war with every other country and blow people up and kill children and rape and pillage. There's a reason they're trying to deconstruct creation, and they're doing a hell of a job. And then they're coming back up with make-believe people. The planet's overpopulated, so we're going to replace everybody with an AI. That doesn't even make sense. The fact that these people are making artificially intelligent sex robots and mainstream puts them up there like that's totally normal. These people are deviant, immoral freaks that should be locked in a room. And instead, they're running our country. Awesome.
Right. And
Awesome.
That's the thing I can't understand is some people say, well, I don't believe in the creator. I don't believe in this. Man, look, if you just look at the enemy, get down to the root of what the enemy is doing. You said it. They're trying to reconstruct life. They're re-engineering us. I mean, look at it, folks. It is what it is. I mean,
tell them about the third temple for those that have never heard you say it before, because everybody's looking for a building to be made out of bricks and stone and such. Tell them what the third temple really is.
I think, okay, first of all, let me start off. I believe the elite, and I actually got a call, actually a physical call from 𝗦𝗃𝗃𝗺𝗃. You know who 𝗦𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗺𝗃 is?
I do.
He actually called me last week and we had this conversation. See, this is how this works, folks. There's no accidents. There's a reason Richie must have asked me this question, and so I'm going to say it. But I think the elite are going to put on a show in the future where an antichrist will walk into a physical building temple in Israel, claim himself to be God, okay, and then the end, that for show, okay, you know, he's God, and then everybody's going to jump on board, and then eventually he's going to be the antichrist, okay. But that's what most churches teach. That's what most religions are teaching. This is why all the fighting over there over this physical buildings. But that's not what the scripture is talking about. It is talking, and I'll tell you why. When Jesus was crucified, he says, "You tear this temple down, I'll build it back in 3 days." The Pharisees didn't even know what he was talking about. What are you talking about? You tear this building down, this temple down. It took us 46 years to build it. But Jesus was not talking about a physical temple building. He's talking about himself as the temple, as the building, that he'll be resurrected in 3 days. That's what he's talking about. So there's a prophecy in Revelation that when you see the abomination that causes desolation in the temple of God, it's close to the end. Now, think about this scripture. When you see standing in the temple, once you realize where the temple is in scripture, Jesus says, I think it's Corinthians 3:16, "Don't you know that ye are the temple of God?" Once you realize that humanity is the temple of God, and you apply that scripture, it says, think about what I just said. When you see standing in the temple of God, the abomination that causes desolation. See, that's what AI is about. This is about transhumanism. There is something God cannot, the Holy Spirit cannot dwell in that vessel anymore. That's why we're host, we're vessel. That's why Lord is also referred to, he's the Lord of hosts. We are vessel, people. And when you take out the heart, you take out the artery, you take everything out, and you're just an empty vessel, AI, with your soul conscience downloaded into a vessel or an AI, your memories, your consciousness, your, you know, it's debatable. Is your soul downloadable? I don't know, but the scripture makes sense because there's nothing. See, God doesn't dwell in a physical building. He doesn't dwell in anything made of man's hands, or human hands. So that's why it's so hard for me to get it for people that don't see it, is where is the temple of God and what does the enemy want? And here's the thing, God is everywhere, all knowing all the time. How do you mimic that? You mimic it with the airwaves. You mimic it with Wi-Fi. You mimic it what is being built all around us, 5G. How does the enemy see? It's a counterfeit of trying to be everywhere all the time. He can't do it because he's not God, but he's trying to mimic that. Do you see the correlation? So the temple of God that is being spoken of in the end, the third temple, is us. That is what it is. So I hope I explained that a little.
It makes perfect sense, even for a dope like me, because what would be a bigger abomination to the Creator than creating lifelike replicas? Because as it said, we were made in his image, and now these guys are doing this, and this is all they care about. Everything else is just fluff. Everything else is just distraction. We're going to war. North Korea, Trump's an act. It doesn't matter.
They're playing their part.
That's anything is in the background making AI, and the crap that they're showing us come on, man. They've got way better than this. And for all we know, we could be surrounded by AIs right now and not even know it. I'd like to think that that's a stretch, but
I think they do exist. I think I mean, it makes sense when you read parables of the tenets. There's a parable that Jesus speaks of as the tenets of this. There were tenets appointed this realm to look over us, the tenants, and the owner went away, and then guess what? The tenants started messing around, and then guess what? The owner's going to come back and go, "What have you done to my place?"
Right.
And that's the next video that I'm working on. I don't know if you saw the trailer I made, The Return, the Master and the Servant.
I did. I love being on the special list that gets to see these things first.
So
it's awesome, man.
So, I mean, I'm not going to give it away, but a lot of people that watch that trailer, they think they know what I'm going to do, but I'm telling you, it's going to be a very good lesson that's been on my heart of the return. And I'm not talking a rapture. I'm talking the return,
right?
The master and the servant, and the things that and the symbolism that was shown within the Batman versus Superman movie that nobody has talked about. I've not seen it on any videos that I've looked and looked and looked, and I have not seen it. So you know what? I've been waiting, and so I'm just going to do it. So I'm going to put it together, and hopefully I think people will enjoy it, mixing, the symbolism with actually a story that is telling you, and it's it is a good story that to have hope, and the fact that we're at this state means it's close. Does that make sense? It is.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick.
Okay.
There's a comment in the chat section, and I think I sent this to you.
Oh yeah.
He sent me an email. Clarksville, Tennessee is making programmable matter. I did send that link to Nicholson.
Fort Campbell.
It's over my pay grade, brother. I don't know how to do stuff like that. I just pass it on to who needs to see it. So yeah, we didn't drop that ball, dude. He's on it.
I haven't heard anything. I'm still researching it. Then Richie sent me this. I have heard that Google is working on, making masses amount of programmable matter in Clarksville, Tennessee. I can't confirm right now on that, but I lived in Nashville for 8 years. There's a little clue there. I don't live there anymore, and there's a reason why, but I'm not going to go into that. But anyway, so once I get more information on it, I'll get that out to.
Do you think? I mean, I know that this is a stretch, and I mean, you're not a scientist, but do you think that everybody that's seeing this black mold showing up everywhere, and it seems to be coming through the public water supply? Now, I'm very, very aware of my surroundings and everything like that, and I noticed it. I put a video out, and I got a flood back from all over the world, but mostly in the United States, saying, yes, I'm noticing mold in my sink, in my toilet, and in my water. I first noticed it in my Camelback bladders that I carry in my backpacks, that these things were filthy. They were filthy. I was putting the freshest, cleanest, highly filtered water into these things, and I was getting all sorts of black stuff inside, and I started noticing it everywhere, and apparently everyone else is too. Do you think those three things correlate?
I think they do. I think, I did a video. There's a little mix.
Really hoping you were going to say no. Go ahead.
I mean, things are getting a little darker, but I think the things that they are spraying in the sky have multiple uses that affect other things, goo. But, the Morgellons, that whole thing with, people experiencing Morgellons, the little fibers, the metal. And this is it at the end of the day, listen to me. There is natural metal in the earth, but there's man-made metal that we're not supposed to be near. I mean,
aluminum.
aluminum, anything like that. That's why
anything with an IUM, and it seems like that's all they spray, as far as we know.
And all it does is it goes back to frequencies, which you know this, Rich. Metal messes with frequencies, and it's like jamming the radar. It's unbelievable when you start connecting the dots of Morgellons, the chemtrails, the barium. You know, we are connected. And here's the thing. Here's my example. There's people out there that say, I don't believe in a radio. Okay. They don't believe in a radio because they can't hear it. But once you get in your car or you use a tuner to tune it in, you realize that there are radio waves around you happening all the time. That is like God. He's all around you. Just because you don't tune in,
right?
Because you don't tune in, and I mean, you know, that's on you, you know. And everybody's different, you know, of how they, you know, hear from God, spiritual, whatever that is different. But that's the thing that's going on. What they're trying to do as well is what we're made of. We're made of what, 65% water. Our DNA is code. We are electric in a way. We're organically electric. And all the enemy is trying to do is make artificial electric with communication to their God, not our God, the true God. You see what I'm saying? We've got codes, DNA codes. Guess what? When you write computer, you have computer code. You have cells in your body, cell towers, cell phones. You have Google Chrome. We have chromosomes. I mean, it's all it is mimicking. The technology is mimicking. The enemy is mimicking the true creator. There's the true intelligence from the creator and artificial intelligence from the enemy. That's all it is. And they're trying to get the people asleep to adapt to the metal, adapt for what's coming, transhumanism, whatever it is. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of us ain't adapting to it. You know, we're not adapting to the metal. That's why we drink alkaline water. Do whatever you have to do to detox, because the earth isn't changing. The people are putting stuff in the air, changing it, terraforming it, trying to get humanity either to adapt to it or you just die. They don't care. You either adapt or you die, so to speak. Does that make sense?
It does. Hey, I got to cut this short, man. I got someone knocking on my door.
Oh, man. It's the black helicopters.
No, it isn't. It isn't. It's somebody else. I didn't realize it was almost 4:30.
I appreciate you, man.
All right, guys. Everything will be in the description. Richie from Boston, Nicholson1968. I hope this was helpful. We are out.